Hi, welcome back to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Joe Gibson. I'll just cut to the chase. Gamera Super Monster, the bottom one here, is not a terrible movie. I find it endlessly funny to perpetuate the jokes that it is, but as you can glean from my Gamera film ranking on plan9crunch.com, link will be in the description, I do not think it is the worst Gamera film. I also find it funny to pretend the movie does not exist and thus talk about it as little as possible. Because, it's 1980, like 9 years after the previous movie, which each came out close together in the show series. But there are reasons to show awareness of Gamera Super Monster and to champion its existence. Because now, it recently celebrated its 45th anniversary. We're releasing this a little bit late for that. It was the 20th and now it's the 24th, but I think it is the thought that counts. And I implore you all to look within yourself and to look within this film to appreciate it. If you need help, I stumbled upon a great resource. The unofficial Tokusatsu Fans Handbook for Gamera Super Monster by Konstantin Furman. It's on Amazon. You can buy it if you have Prime or if you don't. And this actually pointed out to me character art and technical prowess that I did not exactly notice. Page 45 pointed out to me that Super Monster fixes an editorial mistake here that was left in Gamera vs. Virus. And okay, this is because Gamera Super Monster is a compilation movie. It has its own footage of a young boy named Keiichi interacting with 3 good space women and 1 evil space woman sent by the evil spaceship pirate Xanon that is a Star Destroyer, essentially. So this movie's been much maligned. And actually why this book exists, this is a literary film commentary. So you're supposed to read this while watching the movie, and the reason for that, the exigence, if you will, is that Konstantin Furman thought that the Arrow video release commentary track for Gamera Super Monster was poor, quite bad, and assumed the conclusion that it was a bad film without getting there organically. And so this book puts in research and actually cares about the movie in order to have a commentary track about it. And yeah, so the editing of Super Monster is surprisingly good between the segments that are original and clip show. As this book points out, there's a lot of examples of shots that you wouldn't think were new in the movie that are new in the movie. Also, the soundtrack, very good. And there is a character arc to Keiichi about him needing a positive female influence in his life, sort of a big sister influence that the lead space woman feels. In any case, above all else, this movie is important to the larger Gamera series development. If you like the Christ allegory Gamera became in the Heisei trilogy, and even Gamera the Brave to a lesser extent, well, this movie is the one that gives him an actual sacrifice scene that sticks. Yeah, Gamera dies in this movie. I guess, spoilers, he wasn't supposed to. It was late in the script they decided that. That's why the kid is celebrating afterward. And if you like Gyaos as the arch-rival character, this film was a step in that direction by having Gyaos be the first stock footage monster and prominent in much of the marketing. Gamera vs. Giron started the reappearance of Gyaos as a prominent thing through Space Gyaos, but after that fact, they were just all different monsters Gamera fought, and Gyaos is one of them, but he's on some posters, he's the first one in the movie. That's a step in the right direction, though of course we'd need the Heisei movies to choose him as the overarching thing for that to really stick. But we wouldn't have that without this, possibly. And so, I understand it might be a hard sell. Reconsidering the disdain for the most hated Gamera movie, well, I'll give you another option. So March 20th was the anniversary of Gamera Super Monster, but March 21st is the anniversary for Gamera vs. Jiger. And Gamera vs. Jiger, I think, is the best of these 3 movies for sure. Gamera vs. Jiger is about this mythological creature awakening while Expo 70 is about to take place. And they explore the character of Jiger through a weird creativity from Noriaki Yuasa. Jiger's been sealed away, right? And so the first thing she does when she wakes up is take a long drink of water. Makes sense. Also effective characterization. But you wouldn't think to do that unless you're Noriaki Yuasa and his team for that. So there's always 2 At this point in the series, there's always 2 child characters as the leads. One Japanese, one American. I think Hiroshi and Tommy, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I'll get to rewatching it soon. And they, at one point, go inside of Gamera because Jiger implants a larva that started... Well, not really a larva. She's a Triceratops with magnetic powers. Very creative monster. But Gamera ends up gestating it in its lung. It's a whole big thing. They have to perform a low-wave radio abortion. It's a whole weird thing. We'll just watch the movie, but it's a good movie. It's good creativity. The fight scenes especially show it off in terms of how Jiger will use one absurd power. Gamera will have a way to counter that. So then they move on to the next one because, logically speaking, if it ceases to work, you do the next thing. That was a bit of a rant. So, appreciate one of those movies. I will peel back the curtain a little bit and say that I have been trying to write reviews of all the Gamera movies, at least of the Showa series, so that I can get to reviews of Gamera Rebirth, all those episodes, because each of those episodes links back to a Showa movie in some way. And you can stay tuned in the coming months, though it might take months for that to come out. I like Gamera Rebirth a lot, and you'll see parts of reasons of why. Finally, there was recently unveiled a logo in an admittedly vague official social media post for Gamera's 60th anniversary, which will be of the original film, I mean, this year, 2025, since 1965. Whether it is Gamera Rebirth Season 2 that they're announcing, or the pitch Shusuke Kaneko approached Kadokawa with when Rebirth was in production, so they shelved that, or another gosh darn pachinko game, there will be more to talk about with Gamera in the future. So I thank you for watching. Here on YouTube, this is Plan 9 Crunch. We also have Plan 9 Crunch on TikTok, Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog on Facebook, and plan9crunch.com is our blog. You can go and look at any of those as you like, and that's a wrap.